Hey, real quick, let me tell you this. I was thinking about this during my last video, so I decided to just pause for the cause and come back and give you 5 reasons you don't have a good man. Okay? Come on in, let's talk about it. A lot of people say, I wish I had this type of person in my life, and I wish I had this type of person in my life. But if you're not doing the work, then chances are it's not going to work. Number 1, the reason you don't have a good man is because you're still stuck on the old one. Men are different, right? What one man requires or what one man needs can be totally different than the man that is currently in your life. And so if you haven't let go of the old, it's kind of like you want somebody to be a thug who's not a thug. He's a professional. And you're so used to thuggish ways, or you're so used to a person treating you a certain kind of way. And here comes a man who doesn't have drama. And believe it or not, some people are addicted to drama. And you need to know that. If you're always ready to pick a fight, there are men who are not going to fight with you. They're just going to walk away. Right? So that's number 1. Number 2, your kids run your house, not you. You are a parent and you have children. Your kids must know how to respect a man that comes into your life. You do not allow them to start saying, you ain't my dad and you ain't this. You got to check your children. A man in his right mind who knows that who he is, he's not going to stand there and let your kids disrespect him. He's not going to do it. And then you be talking about, wait a minute, you ain't their daddy. And I don't appreciate that. Ma'am, you're not ready. You're not ready. Your kids don't play with adults. Your kids don't get to say just crazy stuff and you expect him, well, they my kids, and if you want them, you want me, then I'm a total package, and they just gonna let you just stay right on by yourself at home with your children. That's number 2. Number 3, the reason you don't have a good man. Because you're not a good woman. Hello? No. You know they say like attracts like. And what does it mean to be good? What are your qualities? You know, if you still have a welfare mentality and you're trying to get with somebody who's about something, but you don't want to be about something, you're looking for a rescuer, and this man is saying, baby, you got to bring something to the table. You got to check your attitude. Sometimes we come to the table with old belief systems. Hey, Patricia, I'm praying for you, love. Come to the table with old belief systems. Well, my mama said, and my daddy said, and your mama and daddy might not even be together. And Lord help them if they gone on to be with Jesus. See, you trying to run your house the way somebody else is running their house. And you don't have a good, that's why you can't keep one. Because I'm going to tell you, when a person is a mature and adult person, even women, we don't even tolerate that stuff. Some of the stuff that you got off, that you thought, oh, I can just put this on it. I'm going to tell you right now, anybody can have sex with a person. But what's going to make you stand out? You have no standards. A person won't respect you if you don't have standards. And then some people they can't stand to be around you when you don't have standards because they can't face it. They can't face it. So you got your kids that don't respect the person. You don't even have the qualities of a good person. Do you even know how to recognize a good man? Do you know what the characteristics are? And I'm not talking about just a credit report. What's his character like? How do you relate? What's your conversation? Another 4, you're bitter. You're still bitter and you're broken. You won't even own your own brokenness. And so instead of going into therapy and getting yourself together, everybody else is against you. Ain't no good man. So you already put it in the atmosphere. Okay? You've already decreed and declared there was not going to be a good man. And here's the thing. You can't see men as an individual. You see a man as a group. You just like so-and-so. Listen, if you want something different, then you got to do something different. What are you putting out there? What are you putting out there? What makes you the catch? You know, what sets you apart from the average bear, as they would say? Right? Are you prepared to receive a king? See, when Esther, she had to be prepared. She had to go through some cleanings. You know, she had to know the protocol. You know, She had to know how to do this. Some of us have that Pretty Woman mentality. You know, I love that movie. It's like 20 something years old, but with Pretty Woman and Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. Oh, beautiful story. That don't happen all the time. I don't know if it happens ever, but I was in love with that movie too. Here she was a prostitute or a lady of the night. He was a businessman. He had all this money and he wanted a call girl for the night. And then he fell in love with her. Baby, I don't know where that really happens. I don't know where that happens. So you get to decide what you're going to be. You're going to be a queen and your conversation is about that, or you're going to be out here doing what you do. And then trying to tell the man, you can't talk to me like that. You always want to fight. You pick a fight with everything. Don't open my door. Why can't I open your door? Because you know the last time you stuck in the last time, when you stuck in the last time, then you can't appreciate this time. You got to own your brokenness. I didn't do it. And men, let me tell y'all want the good women? Honey, I'm not getting ready to babysit. I was with somebody and I said, listen, I got one son. I can't raise my son and a grown man, and I shouldn't have to. So if you got your insecurities and you feel inadequate, I'm not getting ready to pay that bill. Because there's a point in your life where you're done suffering like that. See, you can choose to suffer. You're going to struggle, but suffering, I'm not getting ready to sit in this situation with you and I get beat down because I'm trying to prove my love for you. I'm trying to be that woman and you know, every time I go up, you knock me back down. I can't do it. You say you want a good person. Can you handle the responsibility? Relationships are responsibility. That's like when you come in the presence of a king and you find yourself getting ready to say something crazy, you got to go up. Okay. Dolores, you can't say that. Don't. He ain't that. You can't talk to this man like that. You can't talk to him like that. Now, if you want a man that you can talk crazy to, then there's a lot of them out there. They'll let you talk crazy to him. But this one right here, you got to respect him. Some of us do something in counseling. There's something called countertransference. That means certain things happen to us and a trigger happens, right? And then all of a sudden you start to transfer all of that hatred onto the person that's new because of it was a click. It hit a button. You know, it's like, he pressed my button, but I'm going to let him know what I should have let Jimmy know. Okay. And so when we realize who we really are and we are aware, self-awareness, and then we're willing to check ourselves and have an intelligent conversation and say to the person, it's not you, honey, it's me. You got to own it. You got to own it. Not everybody's going to baby you. They're not going to baby you. If you're looking for a babysitter, then honey, you're not ready. You're not ready. And it's okay to say you're not ready. It's not, you're the common denominator in every relationship. So if the relationship isn't working, you get to ask yourself, what is it within me that I keep allowing or I keep attracting? Now, here's the thing. You may not control who you attract, but you definitely can control who you entertain. I'm going to say that again. That was powerful, wasn't it? You can't control who is attracted to you, but you can control what you entertain. And if you decide to entertain foolishness, then don't get mad. What is your standard? Do you even have a standard? Do you really, it's beyond paying bills and laying pipe. Can I say that? Okay, Lachey, paying bills and laying pipe. I mean, hey, that pretty good, I'm sure, if it's great. I'm talking to grown people. Jesus, you wanted me to use another word, not laying pipe? Okay. Paying bills and laying pipe. Y'all know what I'm saying. Breaking your back out, whatever. Okay. Beyond that, what else are you looking for? Well, he got to have muscles, but he mean as a rattlesnake. Muscle. He hollers at you. And not only that, holler at your children. Your kid didn't even ask to be in a relationship with this knucklehead you got. And see, you have to acquire a different taste. Because for some people, I'm not talking about you unless it's you. Girl, he called me all the time. Okay, he's telling you that he's interested. No, girl, he all up under me. No, that's called being considerate. Really? Well, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I look up, he done brought me lunch to my job. That's what people do who appreciate you. Oh. You have to learn. You have to learn how to carry yourself in different situations. A lot of you all are familiar with Meghan Markle. Remember, Meghan Markle is the black woman who ended up going over to London, and she married the Prince Henry. No, wasn't it? Duke and Duchess Harry. And so this man, honey, she was so cold with it that he left the castle and moved to the United States of America to be with this woman, right? But Meghan Markle, the one thing I remember is they did this documentary of some sort. And check this out. At their wedding, Prince Harry's ex-girlfriends were there. Now that seems very unusual, but over there they do stuff so different. Now, the thing that set Meghan Markle apart was her strength. Because they knew that the women were going to be required to be in a public eye, and that they were going to have to learn how to take the hits and keep on moving. And so at this particular wedding, I'm blown away, and I'm like, what? And they knew that Prince Harry, he treated them with such respect and regard that they showed up at the wedding. And they were in celebration that he did find his Duchess, right? But when Meghan went over to London, she had to be trained. There's a certain way she had to cross her legs. Certain things she could not do. Certain things she could not say. Certain ways she had to present herself. And when they decided they didn't want to do that anymore, then her husband, he just picked her on up and they came back to the United States of America. But you know what they told him? You got to leave your titles back with us. What? Yeah, because there's a certain way we do things. So if you're going to carry this title, then you got to be here. And he said, no, I don't want that. I want my son Archie to have a completely different life. I love my wife. I'm willing to come over here because she proved that she was down with me. So let me show that I'm down with her. That's another thing. Some of us don't even know how to recognize a good man. We just don't. We don't. Because we always got to be right. Right? Sometimes we're alone because we always got to be right. I got to be right. Do you want to be in a relationship or do you want to be right? Some of us don't know how to compromise at all. Well, my daddy, well, he's not your daddy, honey. He's trying to be your man. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. You keeping it so real, you real single. There it is right there. And I'm not saying you're going to like it all. Sometimes you have to back up and go like, you know what? I don't know if I'm ready for this type of relationship. Because this one right here, he ain't playing. He not playing. He not playing. They want to know what your credit look like. I was talking to somebody. I said, well, she was beautiful. He was like, girl, that woman has so much debt. I was like, oh. Because you know, pretty ain't going to pay your bills. You got to be responsible. Especially with this coronavirus. Are you creative enough to make things happen? Good. Let's just make up an acronym for good. How about gracious, right? Oh, optimistic, you know, observant. Okay. He's determined. You decide. There's certain qualities that you want to look for in a person. And once you find them, can you appreciate them? It is so hard to watch somebody walk over somebody who loves them. You know, I remember a guy was telling me he was at a game and another coach was there and the woman brought the baby. And instead of saying, baby, can I talk to you? She's loud talking him and telling him what he's going to do and what he's not going to do in front of the men. And the men are looking at him like, dude, I don't care if you got a baby with her or not. This woman, she's crazy. And then what's this scripture? It talks about that a man would rather be on the top of a house, on the rooftop, than in the house with a contentious woman. You ain't got nothing nice to say. Ain't nothing he can do to ever satisfy you. You know why? Because people don't make you happy. They can come and enhance your happiness. It's just too much. I'm going to tell y'all what I told my husband, and that's the positive. I said, listen, you make my ass hurt. I mean, I didn't know if I was coming or going, up or down, round and around. You know, I was told not to do it. I did it anyway. And then I just had to admit it. Listen, you may not be perfect for me. You may be perfect for somebody else. And since I know that, let me remove myself from this situation. I made a mistake. Because sometimes we are in the company of really good people, but maybe they're not good for you. And then maybe you're just not ready because you're so used to fighting. One of my professors, Dr. Chuck Wilson, many, many years ago, we were talking, and he had found out about, you know, me having some hard times right into college and living in an abandoned home and, you know, just fighting. But as I continued to elevate into different levels, one day he sat me down and he said, Dolores, I said, yes, sir. He said, where you're going, sweetheart, you don't have to fight like that anymore. And I was wondering, well, what is he talking about? Because some of your survival tactics that you had to have when you were a child, they don't serve you now. And you have to be able to shift. Is the belief system that you had back when you were a teenager, is it still serving you? Sometimes we're holding on to dead things, dead values, dead belief systems, dead way of doing it. Maybe you heard the story about the girl who was in the kitchen with her grandmother and her mother, and the grandmother was cooking a roast, and so she watched the grandmother cut one end of the beef off in the roast, and then she put it in the pot. And so she looked at her grandmother and she said, Grandmother, why do you cut the end off of the roast? And she says, well, my mom cut the end off of the roast. So she said, she was talking to her great grandmother, and she said, great grandmother, why do you cut the end off the roast? Right? And she said, baby, because my mom cut the end off the roast because we didn't have a pot big enough. So can you think about, sometimes you got to start asking questions. You can't just accept something, a routine, a tradition, just because. You can't, you know, think of all that wasted meat. And y'all know right now, hamburger is like $63. You ain't got time to play with that. But ask yourself, why do you do this? And then sometimes we don't want to be soft because we come from a family of strong women. All my life, I've had to fight. Okay. And y'all, I was fighting in relationships. Oh, honey. Oh, yes. My second marriage. Oh, no. We had a fight in that car. I didn't win, but we had a fight. And somebody said, Dolores, you can't beat no grown man. And I said, you're right. So I need to get with a grown man that I don't have to fight. Because what happens, ladies, is you can be given everything to one person, and then that person violates you, right? And then next thing you know, you get in a relationship with someone and they show that they're getting ready to violate you. And then that's what happened to me. My first marriage, I was grabbed by my throat. So I told myself, nobody's ever going to do that. So when I went into the next one, instead of recognizing those behaviors and saying, I don't want to deal with this, I went into it anyway saying, well, if something pop off, then I'm going to get ready to do this. Why did I do that? Because I wasn't willing to embrace a different philosophy. Another reason, think about it. Why can't you keep a happy relationship? Is your house dirty? Come on now. Ain't nobody gonna come and sit up in that filth. Okay, they're not gonna do that. Okay, and if you listen, talk about compatibility. How do you keep your house? Don't just do it because you're trying to impress him. Do it because it's who you are. And if you can't handle it, just say you can't handle it. Stop wasting people's time. Stop wasting people's time. Number 5, if you believe there are no good men, then guess what? Chances are you're never going to entertain one. Because your whole mindset, power of life and death, is in your own tongue. I ain't never no good man. He just like the other one. Okay, that's what you keep saying. That's what you're going to deal with. But if you start saying, Lord, I thank you for the healthy person that's coming into my life. And the way you recognize it is because you become a healthy person. Learn how to, see, I can be two handfuls, but when I'm in the presence of a man, I know how to temper that thing. There's a certain level of respect. Now, if you're a person that's about game, if I peep out game, you can hang that up. But being in the presence of a man, and I've been in the presence of some men, and I go, oh, okay, Dolores, you don't want to say that to him. You don't say that to a man. Okay, because if you do this, it ain't gonna turn out well. And you cute and everything, you beautiful, you gorgeous, but honey, the men, the caliber, they know you cute don't cut it. You nasty, going in, just tearing up somebody's. Just the people don't invite the man over anymore because if you gotta go, they don't want them to come. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. I heard somebody else say this. The reason you don't have a good man is because you have a bad man that's already parked in the parking lot. It's like you have one driveway, okay? And if you have this one still occupying the driveway because you're afraid to let go of that, at least I got something. Well, you holding on to something that's just something, and eventually you're going to miss out. You in and out. You can't be in and out. Either you're in or you're out. Either you want him or you don't. Person occupying the space. So then the other man shows up, and then this man who's been there forever, he just feel like he can just roll up. You have no boundaries. And I'm gonna tell y'all like this, I ain't fighting no woman over a man. I don't ever fight over a man. I'll be like, you want him? You can have him. I'm not doing it. For what? Women over here, this just sad. The news, I saw so many stories of young women. They just happen to be black women. I'm not saying white women don't do it or Asian women don't do it. And here they are rolling up on a girl because she felt like she was in her man's face, and the girl pregnant, right? She pregnant. The young woman, college educated, she had her own shop. She was opening another shop. She rolls, gets her friends to get in the car. I'm about to go over this girl's house because she pregnant, and she pregnant by my man. Babies, let me tell you what happened. That girl rolled up on the girl who was pregnant. She didn't know the pregnant girl had a gun. The pregnant girl felt threatened, and she shot and killed that girl and shot her friend as well. And now she dead, and her friend was shot. Thank God she's still alive. And then the man, he done went on down the street. So the girl who the educated one with the business, she left her 3 kids behind some foolishness. Y'all need to come on now. Y'all know that. Listen, I can't make you do anything, but I can decide to accept what I'm going to accept. And when you get to the point that you're not going to accept the unacceptable, baby, he could be fine as Denzel Washington or Idris Elba. When there's a certain level of maturity, that looks and all those other things, they become secondary. Now, I'm not saying I want somebody looking like a silverback. Okay? I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is there are certain qualities, Sometimes y'all, he could be a good man. He's short. He's short. Okay. But he's big on respect and he's big on love for you. I can't do no short man. Okay, don't do one. And don't get mad when you see him with somebody else. Because y'all know, ladies, why do we do this? I don't know why we do it, but we do it. You see somebody that was trying to holler at you, and then he get with somebody, and she's like, just, fixes him up. They go get some clothes and stuff. He might put on heels like Prince did. I don't know. And now you looking at him, right? And you just like, and y'all know how we can be. Y'all know how we can be. Because there are some women who want whatever you got. They want whatever you got. And if they can't have him, they will vie for his attention. But I'm going to tell you, like Miss Linda told us when we were little girls. She said, if you can beat me rocking, you can have my chair. In other words, she knew what she had with the stuff she used, there was no way she could lose. And it wasn't just her body. There is a way to treat a man that if he leaves, he's just like, yeah, okay. It's in your touch. It's the way you greet him. It's in the way you treat him. Now listen, I will say this. If your ex is mad, because you don't have to give somebody who don't appreciate the goodness, You know, why would I keep pouring this onto you and you don't appreciate it? Why would I do that? And she wouldn't do this. I sure would not. I stopped. I realized I was wasting my time, my energy, and my substance. So, boom. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. Think about it. Here's the other thing. If you don't want a man right now, you just don't want one, right? Don't waste his time. Go ahead and decide, you know, what are you looking for? You just want a playmate? You know, you just trying to do a taste test? I heard somebody say that. This man said, if the man ain't serious, he's doing a taste test. You know how you go taste the cake, decide if you want it? What? Yeah. And if you let him taste it, that's what he's going to do. Listen to their conversation. Baby, I would love to be with you, but it's just not the right time. Are you sure? Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying so you don't get your feelings hurt. Okay? Listen to what he's saying so you don't get your feelings hurt. Take it from me. I've had my feelings hurt before, and it does not feel good. So listen to what is being said and not what you want him to say. The person says to you, I like you. I think you're beautiful. I'm just not in that space. Then understand he's not ready to commit. He's not going to do it. Does that make him a bad person? No. He's just not a person that wants to commit. Now, if he gets into a relationship with you and he was telling you about he's going to commit, and then he goes over here and, you know, he starts doing crazy stuff, then that's a different thing. Here's the thing. It's called an agreement. And I'll break it down. A lot of us will say I do, but we don't have agreements, right? An agreement is where two people sit down and y'all say, we're going to do A, B, and C. We're not going to do C, D, and E. That's called an agreement. But what happens is sometimes we get in these relationships and we assume that the other person is on the same page. That even happens when we're married with children. And I didn't understand this because I used to get so frustrated with my son's father. I would just get so frustrated. Until one friend of mine, he said, Dolores, did you and your husband have an agreement about children? I was like, what are you talking about? Did we have an agreement about children? He said, did you agree about how you all were going to raise your children while you were married or apart? And I said, no, but he's the father. He said, yeah, he's the father, but y'all didn't have an agreement. And so you're upset about something that didn't even exist. And I was like, what? I didn't want to accept it, but it made sense. Because sometimes we don't sit down and have the agreement. We got married, we had children, and I expect you to be the daddy. It's called communication. So those are my thoughts about it. I'm glad you took some time to spend some time with me. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. That's Dolores Jones TV. Hit the notification button. You'll find out when I'm on live. Also, remember, there's a new way that I'll be talking to you. You'll see my picture and you'll listen. I said you'll see my picture and hear my face. You will actually see my picture and you'll hear my voice. So understand, I'll start doing live audio as well. And I want to know what your thoughts are about it. I know that I enjoy seeing you, and it's something about visual, being visual, but also it's just imagine somebody's talking to you and you don't have to look at the video. You just listen to what I'm saying. All right. All right. Have a good one. Paula, I hope you had a really great birthday. Hey, Gwendolyn, good to see you. It's a lot of you all. You're so welcome, Lachey Chosen Davis. She said, thank you, Queen. Sometimes we need to hear this stuff, right? We just need to hear it. We might not even like it, but you'd be like, you right about it. She right about it. If I don't change my nasty attitude, it ain't gonna never work for me. I just can't stand them. They just don't know how to talk to me. Do you know how to talk to people? No. You all loud, ghetto. Who does that? Hey, you hear me talking to you? Leave that in the movies, please. Please leave that in the movies. Girl, we are do you know, women, we are powerful, honey. God has given us a gift. There is a soft side of us that, honey, if we work it the right way, there ain't nothing the man won't do for you. But you got to make sure you want that man, because there is a man that will do anything for you. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. But I was young and immature, and I didn't have the taste buds for it. I was like, he all right. He's all right. But he get on my, he's like, yes, baby. I say, oh, you make it too easy. You make it too easy. Cause you so used to struggle that when you want to fight, pull my hair right now or something, you know. Okay. Yeah, don't pull it too hard. It might come out. You know, just think about it. I'm done messing with y'all today. Have a good night. Mwah.